Hello, hello, fellow gods and goddesses out there. Welcome back to the Ambrosia podcast. As usual, I'm Dahlia, and today I got some things I got to say. And this is a perfect way to introduce my new segment, Dahlia Talks, is where I, Dahlia, talk. Episode 1. Okay? Yeah. You guys get it? It's not hard to follow. So anyway, it's not too convoluted, at least. At least we know that. So when I first started this, actually, literally what I said was the eternal struggle for lighting. And then I corrected myself because this struggle will not be eternal. It must come to an end, and to an end it will. That was more poetic in my head, not gonna lie to you. So grab your beverages. I have this lovely koozie that a lovely lady got me once. She's so sweet. So grab your tea, your coffee, your bev, your meal, and let's get into this. Because after my first suckle, a lot of people don't like that. This is why I have to do it. I had to say that. Sorry. It was in the contract. I have what inspired this series, and really who inspired this series, is my lovely, lovely future husband. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he's into that. Leo Skeppy. I might not be his type on paper, but we can work out an agreement if he's down. But then the competition, the other shorties, they putting up a fight, and I don't have a retwist. So let me get a retwist first. Let me no, they look valid. They look a little, they haven't gotten to the of you feel me. They haven't gotten there yet. These eyebrows haven't gotten there yet, but they're on their way. So tighten that up. And I know what we're giving with the camera quality is giving 90s. It's giving it's giving what is that recorder, that big recording thing? It's giving that. So be prepared for that. But the lighting is gonna improve for sure. Cause I think honestly, yeah, I'm never saying the eternal struggle ever again. But I wanted to start off today's episode with something I actually heard Leo Skeppy say. And he was talking about, like, obviously, if you're familiar with his content, it's a lot of like him just telling y'all what he got going on with him, and like that, how that applies to his growth journey and what he's been up to. So really, let me start there. So recently we had the lovely, lovely blood moon, which was a very transformative time, not only for me, but for literally every energetic being on this rock that is hurtling through space. And I the blood moon got me right. The blood moon did what it was supposed to do. Let me tell you, it worked, and I was just like, yo, okay, period. So it's like, a lot of grounding, a lot of meditating, all that sweet stuff, but a lot of resonance and clearing what doesn't resonate with your frequency, and whatever that looks like. So if you got some bums out there, they've been cleared out. You know what I mean? Things are no longer serving you, whatever that might be, even the things you didn't expect. That's what happened. Just like that. It was a thing. It was literally a Thanos slap. Now that I think about it, a snap, not a slap. But I was I was experiencing, and we're all experiencing that shift, that feeling of like these tension and these pressure, and not addressing the things that you've been meaning to address. That's why you're there. You know what I mean? That's why you have that internal state. So if you've been feeling that way, that could be a reason why. Probably is. right? And it brought to my realization this, I like this download of people fear. I wrote it right here. People fear what exactly they should do, then suffer due to inaction. So it's like, for example, I had um I had a very particular friend who had this very particular situation that she's been sitting in for years, bro. Like years, years, years. And we ended up having a conversation and we just kept talking about it. You know, Bevs is beving, Drace is drinking. It was a vibe. And I like that girl. I still do. I like her. But there's this like we were trying to get to the nitty. Well, I was trying to get down to the nitty gritty because let me tell you something. The realest thing I've ever seen is when someone posted, they're like, "Girl, you might not be someone's cup of tea because you might be ayahuasca," and that's Loki. I'm Loki giving that. Is that a vibe? I'm not particularly sure. It's up to your definition of a vibe, but I particularly I adore my vibe, so I'm cool with that. So with this particular situation, there was just that like this underlying fear of knowing what you have to do, but not having the balls to do it. Like, you know, we're over here having a conversation where you clearly know the answer, but then now if I say the answer, I'm wrong, right? And that it's a disagreement. But if you know the answer, what does that mean? If that's the reaction you're giving me, I can only imagine the reaction you're feeling inside. You know what I mean? But you know what? It is what it is. And we move forward. But still fuck with her. She's still vibe. She is still five. And the 2026 is nearing, is getting closer. And y'all want to know what the 2026 is? I know if some of the day ones of the Ambrosia podcast, I know y'all know what next year is. I'm gonna give y'all a second. You can put it in the comment section. And make sure you have a time step. Actually, you know what? Y'all could just never mind. I'm gonna tell y'all. It's the year of the horse. Ooh. Now, if you're wondering why would I care if it's the year of the horse? Now, why would you say that? It's my year. I'm a horse. So it's about to go down. It's about to go down. And I'm going to address the situation of where I'm at. I'm not in Alcatraz. I'm definitely not in prison. I'm somewhere that's none of your goddamn business. I don't know. I don't know why I chose to do all that. Like, I'm not gonna apologize for it, but did kind of give me an ick. Did kind of just give me an ick. Let's sip to that. Anywho's up. So that is, if you can relate to that, please be sure to put your little 2 cents in the comment section, because I really would. Maybe it wasn't none of my business either. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't have said nothing, but I'm glad I did, because I genuinely, the worst thing that you should regret in this lifetime is not living every moment authentically. Because what the fuck else are you gonna do? You're gonna sit there and try to be someone else who isn't living authentically. So now it's unfortunate because you're not even working in your power, because maybe you're not living authentically. Maybe you're trying to please other people. Maybe you just don't like yourself. Maybe you think you're not someone worth being. Well, that segues into the next point that I have, which is something that I actually got from watching 607 Unk. Shout out to him. I mess with him. I've been binging his stuff all weekend. And let me tell you something. That man's That's a 5D man. That's a 5D individual. And when you peep it, when you see it, you can't unsee it, right? And the thing is, and it's actually in relation to the title of this video, is worth, right? Because on that podcast, I can't remember which one he was. I watched so many videos, I don't remember which one. I can't even plug the name of it. But hold on. He was saying that, or he was having a conversation with this particular individual, and they were talking about worth, right? And particularly the worth of money. A direct quote is, he said he'd rather have $1 million, he'd rather have $100 than $1 million, because money, the energy of money exists within a state of flow. So when you hoard money, think about, well, literally money is feminine energy. That's a fact. So think about it like a woman, right? Like a girlfriend, like a consort, like a, I'm not sure if yeah, I think there are female consorts, yeah. Like a wife. Women don't flourish in captivity. They flourish and flow, right? In ebb and flow. Moods are ebb and flows, literally on their flow. You feel me? Like this kind of free range shorties is really what I want to say, right? So when there's something that I've even noticed in some of my consorts in the past, is that they want to, like, you're my girlfriend, like I hold you captive and I put you in my pocket and hide you from the world. It's so strange. I don't know why men do that. It gives me such an ick. Like, it's like they're scared the other men are gonna like find you or something. And now you're sitting there getting the ick, and then old boy is like, oh, I want to keep you in the house, and we just sit in the house and just stare at each other like, whatever. You can think that, sure. Not that I'm saying go out in the streets and live in the streets and like a raccoon. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying run and be in the street like a rat on the highway. All I'm saying is women don't flourish in captivity. So money doesn't either. So that's why you find a lot of people who have a lot of money tend to invest it in things, right? So it's staying it's moving around. They don't actually have like money sitting in their bank account like a bucket of lead. You know what I mean? And you find that they put in assets, right, that grow in value, and then you can, liquidate it if you really want. But having that much liquidating your assets is like, if you're trying to disappear, you're trying to do a big move, right? So that's a very suspicious move, but do whatever you want. I don't know your life. So in the topic of value, you find that we assign value to everything, right? Like we find people who assign value to, like, their phone. And this is an example. Phone is actually a perfect example. So if y'all don't know already, I'm Kenyan, right? And Kenya's currency is shillings. Now, shillings actually it's roughly something slightly north of 160 shillings to $1 American dollar. And the problem that Kenya is having now, that Kenya has had for a long time, is they have a lot of like petty crime, like petty theft. So you find, like, when you go to the country as a tourist, they tell you don't be having your phone out, don't be out in like concerts, like, don't be taking pictures, like sticking your head out the window, because someone's gonna come and snatch you, and it's gonna, that grab, they're going to grab that phone, brother. It's going to disappear like it never existed. It's gonna disappear into the ether. You don't even know. You're not ready. So they tell you watch your phone. I don't be taking my phone out in Kenya. If I'm in Kenya, I got no phone. Don't be hitting me up at all. I'm off the grid. So, because I be using it like an American, I'd be like, all right, let me not. Let me actually not. Let me put this out. And you know how people be leaving their phones like out on the table on a night out or whatever. So my cousins, I recently went this summer. I got to talk to them, meet them, chat with them, hang out with them. Amazing. So blessed. Love those guys and gals. So they were telling me that, someone would like snatch like, an iPhone, right? Which that's like about, let's go 2,000 USD, right? So that's 20,000, roughly 20,000 shillings. So they'll snatch that iPhone and they'll go pawn it off for 800 shillings. Because you're like, oh, I'm up 800. You know what I mean? That's $8. They just pawned off an iPhone for $8. So then I had this innovative idea where I'm just like, I'm going to be the lawyer for the thieves. So they could get a good deal. Like, they don't know. They don't know they could have been up 20 bandaroonies, 20 bandoliers. They didn't know that shit. And then immediately she poked a hole in my business plan, because if you're the legal representative of thieves, eventually you get robbed. So on to the next. We're on to the next one, I guess, guys. I tried it, that immediately stopped dead in its tracks. So, but that was just a very convoluted example of value and what we deem as valuable and something that has worth, right? So they value 800 shillings more than this phone, because they're like, I don't give a fuck about this phone. It's not mine. I just need to get it off of me. It's hot. But in the same way, we appraise people and people in our lives in that same way, right? Like that man or woman or none or both that you have in your life that you're just like, oh my God, I can't live without them. I can't. I need it. I need them. It's because you're assigning such a grand amount of value and worth to this person's presence in your life. And at times that's not always mutual. So maybe you the 20 bands, but they're like, I'm really only willing to pay 800. But then you over here like, I give $1 billion. Goofy ass. You really goofy. I didn't know they made y'all that goofy. Maybe it's just I didn't know they made y'all that goofy. Like, maybe I'm new around here. Put me on. Give me a guide. Give me a tour guide. So I think that we as a collective need to really reconsider who and what we deem as valuable. Because you might need an appraiser for that. You might need someone else to jump in and say, that don't sound quite right. That's not market price. And market price that should be fluctuating. It do be fluctuating. Yeah. So for all y'all lovely, beautiful people out there, I say, chew on that. You know what I mean? Think about that. Don't give things too much value. Don't let them take up and absorb too much of your energy. Because for what? Because then what? Then now you're overvaluing something that might not necessarily be an asset. It actually might be more of a detriment. And in order to see that more clearly, I believe that only comes from true inner work. Even if you're doing a little bit. Some people be blowing it out of proportion. They're like, I need to have this spiritual transformation. I need to cross the ocean. I need to cross the desert in a night, in a couple weeks, in a couple months. Like, it took me years, just years, to learn one lesson. What that lesson is, I guess we might talk about it on the next episode. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. No, we'll talk about it on the next episode. But I do appreciate y'all tuning in, taking the time to hang out with me, have a little chat, enjoy this new segment of DALYA Talks, and I hope to see you on the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment if you want to. If you don't want to, it's all right. I appreciate you anyway for getting this far. So, bye-bye.